There he went. That into a ditch. Ooh!
Or down.
Whale Percy, help!
And across the line. Quick snapped and the gear jammed in the sleepers.
Oh! His eyes. It's backwards.
Edward's wheels slipped fiercely, and with a shrieking crack...
Oh! But it was too late. He so hard, he banged the trucks hard into the buffers, but the buffers weren't...
and angrily let off steam.
Stopped.
Then...
Too late.
Came off the rail. They surged into Surham. At last, a spring gave way. The elephant. Water went all over him. All over. Now there'll be trouble.
And Cranky banged his... Hide the trucks. But into the sheds. It's too late. Oil splash control and the fat controller. And he was right. The trucks plunged into the ravine. Next, his trolley, a load. Plunged into the ravine.
Did you mean to look like that?
What I saw in my drink true. The universe is starting to crumble.
Onto the tracks.
The net is too heavy.
Right. When one rock fell, then another, and another. Bomb detonated!
Oh no!
He cried. The bridge started to crumble. Suddenly, his snow
Duck shouted, but it was too late.
Ah! Cried James, what's happening? Crash! Bang! Wallop! Oh, help, Gordon!
and into
everywhere. And he took off, blowing cinders and ashes. Soot all over Mavis. So loud and so long that windows broke all over town. His hook. Thomas flew by James. His whistle shot off like a mighty rock. Suddenly, there was a deep rumbling sound. Hard, some rocks the track, and to fall. But Fergus was covered in... He dangled. Flew everywhere. By lightning. There was a loud crash. Yes, there is. His fireball. The apples were deep snow. Wet wooden bridge was stunned. The supports were getting larger. Careful!
Into Percy, and the bunting flew up into the air.
Over the road. Under the hopper. Cinders' engine coughed. Then it started to splutter. Black, smelly smoke billowed from his exhaust. Mavis started billowing smoke too. So do I. Soon, all the other diesels had broken down. Harry, Bert, even Salty had drowned. Jake, coal flew out. The carrot. And trucks hurtled into a siding. They biffed and bashed, slipped and fell all over the track. Box splashed into the duck pond. Them very huffed into a big pile of trucks. A big cloud of stone went into a truck. The truck rolled into a lever. James puffed. Coal poured out everywhere. It poured the tracks and all over Gordon James. Coal covered. The fact started to bounce and the eggs were breaking. Some of the fish were shaken loose. Covering her from fling broke. Thomas shot forward. Cocoa powder. Extra big shot, Thomas. But that night, a fierce storm swept through the island. It was the strongest wind the engines had ever known. It blustered and blew. The wind howled down the tracks and tore down the trees. Ripped off roofs and flattened fences. It even blew Gordon's tent away. Bother, puffed Gordon. The wind blew all night long. Then there was trouble. An extra hard shunt. Paint pots flew in. Bump. Soon the diesels and the steamies were off the track. Some of them headed straight for the water tower. The water tower crashed down across the runway. Thomas clipped the telegraph pole and they all came off and the carriage crashed it. First one rock fell, then another rock. Soon, lots of rocks came to tarpaulins in the air. Until it was too late. But it was too... There was another Thomas and his trucks, but the trucks bumped into the back of Thomas and the crate of melons. Can pushed his way through the barrier, and suddenly the roof collapsed, bashed and smashed open.
The way.
And rolled under the chute himself. The truck very hard. Bed bumped into the air. The branch flatbed crashed into the buffers. Then splash into the canal. Rheneas raced right off the truck's collapsed. Steel pipes with a loud crunch. Straight into the back of the buffers. Jumped. His trucks hit the buffers and bright white flour flew everywhere. Logs broke free at the forest mill. Big boof! It was very overgrown. Earth and stones tumbled down the bank and blocked Thomas's track. Chloe's flatbed biffed into the siding, stack of roofing slate, and Hey, you push my buffer! Max Brolfi was sinking into a muddy hole. Monty crashed into the crunch. Before they knew it, they skidded off the as he could. But it was too. The bricks crumbled, the workmen and the foreman. Ow! Ouch! 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 All. Their kittens with his scoop, and just in time. Stones tipped out of the truck's coal dust in quarry dust was sent into a set of buffers, and he biffed right in. He bashed into the barrier and alive. He jumped and biffed into his trust. He jumped and he biffed his trucks in surprise. Flour bed so hard as through the buffers and splashed into the canal. He heard a loud crunch. Parcels flew, biffed into him. All the cakes fell onto the... Too late. Toby splashed through the puddle, straight into the buffers. Oh! To Bert, the stinky cheese shot into the air. They crashed through a snowbank. The mud sprayed, all toppled off the flatbed and crashed.
Oh. Just the last part of the bridge groaned and swung over the dean. He toppled off the track. It smashed into the tower. As the tower crashed to the ground, Thomas crashed straight through the block top. Thomas landed in a pool of water, crashed through a thick wall of bushes. He flew across a ravine, bottom of the hill.
He hit the buffers and the billboard flew into the bunting went everywhere. The magnificent level crossing. It smashed against the gate. Coconut. Stepney smashed into Emily. Seeds from a buffer. The cream churned good. But the tree didn't roll out of the way. It stayed in front of Emily. Pulled away. And Emily track started to sink. Emily was stuck to the ground, wobbled, and one of the sandbags flew again. More sandbag. It burst on the sharp point. The train smashed straight into the... Thomas bashed into Diesel. Stone poured down from the hopper, the rails. Thomas and Diesel smashed Harry and Bert right through the back of the engine, Biff straight into them. Thumped off his flatbed. But the buffers with a big bump and a crash. Thomas clanked off the rails, bashed his buffer's box, fell from his flatbed into the water. Skarloey crashed into Duncan's truck, crashed into Rusty's trucks,
And spattered all over the engines.
with a splash, a sploosh and a splosh.
As a streak of silver on their tracks.
Crumbling trap. Gosh.
Potato collie barrel. Landed all over Thomas. Scrunch and a crunch. A crash. He chuffed too quickly. Then, too slowly. Then he rolled back too far. Slate and dust flew down his funnel and bounced off his boiler. New lamp rope Spencer fell off. They clanged and they banged on. The worse he wobbled. He splattered and scattered from your engine. Toss! You can crash. The track.
Then it cracked. Then there was trouble. The car skidded and skated right into a muddy ditch. The Fat Controller's car skidded and skated right into a haystack. The Fat Controller's car skidded and skated right into a pond. Mavis dropped the crates. Trucks bounced high in the air, crashed and bashed, they clattered and shattered down. Rocky. Edward had crashed.
Stuttered and stuttered. He wheezed. Then Henry spluttered and
He hit a button. That made Spencer shudder in the toe. Right. The biggest puff of
straight through a very big puddle.
Here I come, Rosie! Splish, splash!
Come, Thomas. Splish, splash, splash.
Come, Charlie! Splish, splash, splosh!
Splash, splash! Splish, splash, splash!
Splosh!
Then there was trouble. Muddy water flew high into the air and splooshed down all over Alicia Botti and Sir Topham Hatt.
Thomas!
It clanged and clanked. It rang and rattled.
straight from his wheel.
Snow flew up all over Gordon's face.
Sliding straight into the back of some... Gordon saw Thomas and his truck and derailed. Now
They scattered and clattered into the apple crates. The heavy flatbeds were cracked its cover. The Joby wood tumbled out of Joby logs, crashed and smashed into the water. Planes snapped. The last flatbed of Joby
and a locals the flatbed into the logging pond. Logs flew. They crashed and rock and rubble crashed and smashed behind them. Then the rock rumbled down, bounced off their boilers and fell on their fenders. Ferdinand frowned. They crashed and smashed through to Tom.
I'm always about whoa!
Broke. The apple truck tumbled off the tracks. Apples bounced and rolled everywhere. Into the buffers. The 2 trucks, James and Thomas, into the 4 trucks, James and James had shunted. Into an old truck.
One pole rolled slowly off.
Pop! went one of the corks. Rattle, rattle, shake, shake, wobbled the lemonade. Pop, 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 burst the cork. In cork hit me. But Thomas, pop, 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 ping the corks, and the tin corks hit the signalman. He bumped the buffers, ass cork pop, and knocked Roller's hat right off it. Trouble, black smoke and soot shot from trucks bashed and biffed again. He bashed three.
At last, Thomas screeched to a stop. The Star of Night, with a crunch and a crack, and groaned, and whirled, and hurled, logs everywhere. Logs bounced off Ed past Thomas.
Cinders and ashes!
Bash, Dash and Ferdinand clapped back.
Jumpy Joby! It looks like you need our help now!
That's right.
If you say so.
And Bash, Dash and Ferdinand rattled, but Hee-Haw had run out of oil. It spluttered and stuttered, thick black smoke.
Edward is swinging on a bridge.
Biffing and bashing.
And bashed. They crashed and smashed.
Old Wheezy and Hee-Haw started to cough and to splutter. Then they jittered and juddered. Baubles and bells bounced and bumped. Streamers and stars shuddered and shook. Then Old Wheezy rocked and rolled, and the Joby Log Christmas tree flew high in the sky and splashed into the pond.
The shout, bang, and the clatter. There was a crash.
Kevin.
They biffed into Buffett to bump. The flatbed jumped, splashed and creaked and crumbled. It cracked. A biff and a bash and a terrible smack. Oh, were busy throwing. Hero smart. They smashed the limble as then Hero loudly in the air and away. Cindy balloon bounced from the flatbed high into the sky. Fizz, whizzed this way, that, as it shrank slower and smaller.
My heart!
Right, but the big balloon was too hot. Harry and Bear were biffing and bashing trucks.
With a gasp and a grunt, he was all and at the steamworks, the
Crashing into Charlie. Kevin bashed a jiggle and joggle. Bertie the bus rolled, nudged and budged the poles. But his magnet started to bash and crash his magnet. Bash and a splash and a sploosh and a whoosh.
but it tipped, and he tapped so hard against the wheel, it rolled and raced away. It crashed and bashed into Rocky with a
And a clang. It to the fizz against the flatbed of and crash. Thomas chuffed and Kevin watched Thomas and Percy's new shunting game. It looked fun. Kevin liked fun.
Can I play? Of course you can.
Kevin giggled flatbed with that. It into Emily. Kevin biffed the oil drum. It skidded into Spencer. An oil drum whizzed and whirled towards Victor.
Armour McCall! Thomas!
What's your miss?
He blew his wonky whistle loud and long.
Surprised. Snow splattered and scattered.
Wish back soon!
Once again, snow from the track sprayed and slipped away.
Jealousy!
He heard the trees thump. With a crunch, with a
Water whooshed over Gordon's express carriages. Lady and Dowager Hat were surprised.
Fiddlesticks and fenders! Hold on to your hats!
Flynn readied his water cannon.
their pistons as never before. He had to puff across before the bridge collapsed.
And I crashed right into the jam, flew up into the air, and fell over me and the fat
Fell down. Into the bumped into it. Shut
And bump, splash.
Thomas tried to race off to find Luke, but then there was trouble. His wheels were too big for the narrow gauge tracks.
Whoa! Whoa!
Bang! Smoke poured, rumbled. Old Wheezy rumbled. Smoked. Old Wheezy rumbled. More smoke swirled. More wrenches flew. And there were even stranger noises. Then, Old Wheezy stopped. Of oil flew everywhere.
That's not meant to happen.
That's right.
Old Wheezy was fixed. Logs flew. They bounced and boinged. They crashed and splashed. The logging locos were happy.
One biff.
One bash!
And there's always a crash.
Rocky, right onto Edwards.
A magnet dropped onto Tony.
And then
Hit to a he hit the buffer. Surprised he dropped his can, crashed and he straight the back of Whiff's rubbish truck. The rubbish truck's class battered right off the rails, biffed and bashed, and with
Then banged loudly.
to Diesel's flatbed. A clang and a clatter. Suddenly, a cloud of coal dust puffed out off the tracks.
Oh, my!
In time. And it shuddered till it rocked and into the sea. Posey was surprised, bumped and jumped in, but surprised. His rubbish flew everywhere. Cranky drops of firework, but fireworks fizzed and whizzed everywhere.
Sir Topham Hatt's top.
The muddy, wet track. To the crap whiffs. The handle creaked louder and longer than ever, and he couldn't roll forward at all.
With a rattle, Peter Sam puffed to a halt.
Careful, engine. Toby wheezed faster and faster over the shake. Flew. The milk. And here's a rotten. The rail. Chill. I can't. The last coach couldn't stop and bumped. into the sea.
It gets wet.
Rivers. And some of them...
Thanks,
Excuse me, what?
Oh, hi, Thomas.
Whoa, what's that? What's going on? Oh no! Oh, but they did it!
Are they supposed to? Look
I thought I was gonna go right over! Oh!
I feel a bit strange. I think I might be magnetic!
Great gears! Whoa, 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 whoa! Well,
Hope that doesn't mean my luck is changing. Easy, Wheels. Easy. Whoa! Real. Whoa! Piggy, look out! You got a mustache. Are you?
Okay, this is getting ridiculous.
Let me try. Hi, guys. But it's always a mess. Up even more if you want.
you will find that you're strong.
A bunch of boxes spilled.
Rock, please stop rocking us.
Oh no.
Hold on, hold on.
I'm slipping! It's too steep! Hold on!
Whoa!
I come!